Are you thinking about moving to downtown Madison, Wisconsin, and you want to know the top 5 pros and cons of living in a condo? Whether you're living in a garden-style condo, which is just a 1-floor and a high-rise, or you're thinking about one of these awesome townhomes and being close to it all. My name is Mark Ladue. I'm a broker associate with Lau Realty Group. We get phone calls, texts, and emails all the time for people who are considering living in downtown Madison, Wisconsin. And I can tell you from personal experience, because I have, this is a wonderful place to live. Let's go over those top 5 pros and cons. Let's start with those cons. So number 5 is this. There is a lot happening downtown. It can be noisy, it can be congested. There's a lot of things that are happening. So if you're moving from a place that would be, say, in the suburbs or from a different location around Wisconsin or even throughout the country, downtown Madison is an awesome place to live. However, we have things like live on King Street. We have concerts on the square. We have the Iron Man. We have all sorts of things that are happening in downtown Madison. So if you're not used to having the noise, like traffic noise or sirens or things like that, you may want to give it a second thought, because it can be fairly loud at times, even though most of these condos have specialized windows to help keep that noise out. Okay, number 4 is this. Guest parking. So you might be used to having a lot of people who can come over to your house and park in your driveway or park on the street. And the fact is that, I moved here in 2001 from New York City. So I was used to not having a car. I was used to not having to park, all of those different things. Well, now you have the scenario where downtown Madison has become a huge haven for nightlife activity, whether it be restaurants, bars, music venues, whatever it might be. On Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday even, you have a difficult time finding parking. So if you're having, say, a little soiree on a Friday or Saturday night, it might be difficult for your guests to find parking. Number 3 is rules and regulations. So when you live in a condo in downtown Madison, you're going to have condo association rules and regulations. What do I mean by that? Well, so you have things like pet restrictions. For example, if you have a dog who might be over 45 pounds, a lot of the downtown condos do not allow dogs over 45 pounds. They also limit the number of pets. So if you had, say, 3 or 4 dogs, you're probably not moving downtown anyways. However, there would be a restriction on how many pets you can have. The largest one is rental. I get a lot of people who actually email me or call me and ask the question, am I able to rent my unit as soon as I buy it? I don't really want to move to downtown Madison just quite yet, but I want to secure my place. And I thought, well, maybe I'll rent it for a year or 2 before I actually move in. There are a lot of rules and regulations when it comes to renting your downtown Madison condo. Reason for this is they want to control the numbers. And that's because you want ownership interest in your condo building, right? You don't want to have a lot of renters, because oftentimes it's seen that renters can bring the value down. The other thing is they are restricting the rental policies on these. So now that Airbnb, VRBO, those kind of short-term rental sites are out there, you basically aren't going to be able to do that if you buy a condo in downtown Madison, because the rental restrictions are going to be things like you have to have a lease for a year. The condo board may need to approve that lease. They may not even allow rentals anymore because they've already exceeded the number of rentals that they'd like to have in the building. And why is that important? Well, exceeding the rentals means that you may not be able to get lending if there's someone trying to purchase your condo. So you can see rules and restrictions are a big part of it. Number 2 would be condo fees. So condo fees are basically you're paying for all the maintenance that goes along with the exterior of the building, the exterior of the units, the hallways, the common spaces, all of these different things. So think about it like this. You're paying a price to live in a single family home. And if you pay the price of a condo fee living in downtown Madison, one of the condos, then really what you're hoping for is to not have to do any maintenance, whether it be landscaping or shoveling snow and things like that. Number 1 is this, and that is price. So downtown Madison condos can be very expensive, and oftentimes they're not going to be as large as what some people want. So you're downsizing in a sense, and you're paying even more per square foot to live in this downtown space. So median price for a downtown condo that's 2-bedroom, 2-bath. Let's think about the fact that you may be downsizing from a 4-bedroom, 3-bath home, and you want to have plenty of space in downtown Madison, so you're thinking about downsizing to just a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. The median price on that is going to be $550,000. That's $100,000 more than the average single-family home price in the Madison area. The other thing to think about is the average price per square foot, and the average price per square foot is going to be more than it would be if you're buying a single-family home. So think about the fact that if you wanted, say, a 3-bedroom or possibly even a 4-bedroom, which is very rare in downtown Madison. I might add this, there may be only 1 or 2 that become available each and every year, but in 2023, there were only 2. There was a 3-bedroom and there was a 4-bedroom, and those are going to be more of the penthouse style units with incredible views and great places to visit. However, those are selling at $1 million plus in downtown Madison. So if you're thinking about buying a condo in downtown Madison, what you really want to consider is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. Average price is going to be $550,000. Now, let's move on to the 5 top pros we have for living in downtown Madison, Wisconsin. Number 5 is this. You do not have to shovel, you do not have to mow the lawn, and you do not have to take care of any landscaping. I think this is wonderful. I really love doing yard work, and I love being able to get outside and kind of tinker in the yard, but that's on a very rare basis. And I'm sure that if you're thinking about buying a condo in downtown Madison, you are thinking the same thing. I don't want to shovel. I don't want to landscape. I don't want to have to tinker in the yard if I don't have to. So that's number 5. Number 4 is this. You have parking in one of the most densely populated areas in all of the city. So when you're thinking about the fact that you love to come downtown to go out to eat or come to an event like concerts on the square or something like that, and you are always frustrated with the fact that there's no parking, well, guess what? Now you have parking. It's probably going to be underground. It's probably going to be heated, which also means that you don't have to rake off your car in the morning when we get those 12 inches of snow. Also, it's going to be easy to get in and out of the unit with groceries, shopping bags, dry cleaning, whatever it might be. So having parking is huge. All right, number 3 is this, the walkability and bikeability if you live in a condo in downtown Madison, Wisconsin. So Madison is known for being one of the most bikeable cities in all of the US. We have awesome trails that go from downtown to miles outside of the city. So you get to walk to all of these different places when you're downtown, whether it be a restaurant, a bar, a music venue, whatever it might be. The walkability and bikeability in downtown Madison is exceptional. Now we want to talk about the number 2 pro for living in downtown Madison, Wisconsin in your condo. And that is all of the great events you get to experience. That's right, living in downtown Madison, which I have done before. I was living in a townhome and absolutely loved it. And it's because I could actually go to all of the events, live on King Street, concerts on the square, so many great restaurants, so many great activities that are happening. And not only that, you got the University of Wisconsin-Madison within just a short walk. You could audit classes there. You could hang out on the Union Terrace. You could hang out on the Monona Terrace, have views of the lake, kick back and have an adult beverage, maybe 2 or 3, but just enjoying life in general and being able to shop at places like Square Wine, for Imagination. You get the point. It's being in a place where you can walk to so many things that you can't when you have to drive a car because you're coming from the suburbs or outside of the Madison city limits. All right, the number 1 pro of living in a condo in downtown Madison, Wisconsin is you get to lock up and leave. Let's say you travel a lot for work and you don't want to have to worry about finding somebody to, say, water the plants or make sure that your doors are locked or getting the mail, doing anything like that. You just get to lock up and leave. That's a really important factor. Or maybe you're getting to the point in your life where you just want to travel a bunch and you don't want to have to worry about mowing lawns or shoveling your sidewalks or doing anything like that, or asking the neighbors, in fact, to do any of this for you. If you're looking for a lifestyle where you get to just close the door and go to places like Paris, France, Morocco, maybe even Brazil. I don't know where you plan to travel, but if you plan to travel a lot or you travel a lot for work, living in downtown Madison in a condo is a perfect scenario. I've been selling condos in downtown Madison for over 19 years. And in fact, I spent a brief stint living in the Capitol West townhomes, which was about a block off of Capitol Square. So if you do have any questions about the lifestyle, about the costs, anything that you want to know about downtown living, more than happy to help. I've also been a part of the marketing team for the last 2 new projects in downtown Madison. One was the Starliner over by Breeze Stevens Field, which is an awesome location simply because you're right next to all the music venues and things that are happening. The other is the Barracuda. This is kind of a flat iron building that was done just a few years back, has some of the most innovative and incredible finishes, and I really enjoy not only being able to see the views from all of the buildings downtown, but I have working knowledge about not only the associations and the buildings. So if you have questions and you're moving to downtown Madison, Wisconsin, I'd be more than happy to help. All right, there you have it. The top 5 pros and cons of living in a condo in downtown Madison, Wisconsin. If you want to know what's active on the market, or you're thinking about actually selling your condo and you want to get out of the downtown rat race, I can't imagine why because it's such a beautiful place, then feel free to reach out. Our contact information is below. And as always, subscribe to this channel because there'll be more information on what our favorite condo buildings are in the Madison area.